and they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. Ludacris going in on the verse, cause I never been defeated and I won't stop now. Keep your hands up, keep them in the sky for the homies that ain't making it, my folks locked down. I never went nowhere, and what they say in Luda's back, blame it on that contour, the hood call it Ludiac, and I'm on this foolish track, so I spit my soulless flow, my hands go up and down, like strippers' booties go, my verses still be serving, I'm like a million virgins, last time on a college remix, now I'm on the original version, can't never count me out, y'all better count me in.
Where's your camera?
All right, ladies. Next up, so for those of you who have come in after we started, this is our speaker before dinner, and then we have a lineup after dinner. And if you can stay for after dinner, you want to stay for after dinner because we're going to have a great time again. So, I would like to introduce to you, see, this is why I used my iPad earlier.
I was impressed you were using your phone this time, I have to say.
I tried it.
Love your outfit.
Thank you. Beautiful.
And I matched my presentation.
All the way.
Oh my goodness. Some years.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Shay and I, we're on Facebook.
On Facebook.
We met on Facebook, and we never met in person until like, what, 2 months ago?
Yeah.
So like, chatting
We're
about
friends on
business.
Facebook for years.
Yeah, chatting about business and life and stuff like that, and she was like, I want to come up to one of your events at Cornelius. I'm like, come on, girl, come on. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Shay, and I'm going to let her dive in. Shay Morton, also known as Jersey Shay to her online community, is an author, a business coach, and vessel as well as mom of 2 grown children. Grown. Does that mean boomerang?
31 and 21.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am business.
I am business.
And saying that figuratively and literally, Shay Morton was introduced to entrepreneurship at 7 years of age by her grandmother starting her ice cup business. The passion was watered by family and friends around her with the hustling lifestyle and parents who stayed in survival mode. Rooted and born in Atlantic City, New Jersey, her curiosity for more led her to relocate to North Carolina in 2003, where she started a cleaning and organizing service, which has now served hundreds, as well as created a cleaning school for new cleaning businesses called Clean University. While meeting and networking and helping other entrepreneurs along the way, she created Worker Bees NC, now Business 911, a small business resource, a nonprofit that has helped over 3,080 small businesses to date start, grow, and scale their business. An organization of like minds and small minority business owners who believe that education, a game plan, and partnership win in business. Making an impact in the community, her organization was featured on NBC Charlotte in February 2021 for Black History Month for the hundreds of LLCs she filed for small Black businesses, helping them to start and legitimize their business, as well as the resources she provides at her small business center. Her entrepreneurship program has been accepted in the Mecklenburg County Jail as part of their re-entry program with the Next Great 50, as well as part of over 35 other organizations' curriculum. While learning the back end of business, Shay learned how to market her own business. She then started Jersey Shay Designs, her web design and marketing company, providing small businesses across the USA with marketing materials, increased sales, and marketing services for almost a decade. She has brought almost $250,000 in sales to her clients' bottom line through marketing and brand exposure. Her passion is coaching and helping people get closer to their bag.
That's it.
20 years of experience as a full-time business owner and working with entrepreneurs has allowed her the knowledge and skill to help people where they are and shift their mindset to get them to where they want to be. That is why she is considered the reconditioning coach, shifting insight to shift income. Jersey Shay.
I'm super excited. And before she sits down, please give Cherese and Stacy, the super women of today. They've been here all day, getting this thing popping. So I know we going to dinner, so I'm gonna move pretty quickly, but I'm super excited. I am all about Women's Day, Women's Month, Women's Year.
All
So
things women.
not just here, all things women. It's very important to me. Even business. Business is super important to me because it's sustainability. It helps to pay the bills. So that's why I'm adamant about women doing business. So welcome again. Again, I said International Women's Month because I'm all about the month. I'm not saying day. I need us to celebrate us every day. We take on a lot of hats. We are not just moms and cousins and aunts and you know what I'm saying? We pacify, we inspire. It's so much that we do that we're not even giving ourselves the small wins for. So for me, I need the whole month. It's like even with my birthday, it's the whole month. You know what I'm saying? The whole month. I told everybody you could take off, put your feet up, you know. It's just that important. So again, I'm Business 911. I own a business center in Charlotte. 13 million businesses. That's how many are owned by women across the USA right now, which is 43%. That's major. You understand? We come from mostly a male-dominated business space. So for us to have 43% of this space now, to me, is tremendous. We employ 330,000 businesses here in North Carolina. To me, that's essential. But the biggest number is this $40 billion in income that we generate every year as women-owned businesses, employing 250,000 people yearly. $40 billion come from us. And this is just what's on the books. We're not even talking about us small little hustlers that we doing on the side. We're not even talking about, we ain't reporting. You know what I'm saying? So we making impact. You know what I'm saying? So this is major. This is significant. And we want this kind of stuff. This is inspiring. You know what I mean? But we have to understand that it's a village of us. So we got to work together and join one another and listen, you know, and all those things. We rank top 10 in the states as far as Wells Fargo when they did their report. The top 10 state as far as women-owned businesses. So we're coming a long way. So I'm here today to talk to you about small business startup and nonprofit. And I'm going to play a little game with you with some nuggets because I'm all about takeaways. That's major for me. I'm a teacher by trade. I listen just so I can go tell it. I learn just so I can go teach it. I don't hold on to no information. So don't ever tell me nothing worth something. I'm gonna tell it. You know, it's not a secret to me. Success is not a secret to me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to share it, you know, because what I've learned, people say, well, Shay, you don't mind telling them about how you started this and giving them all your documentation and giving them your stuff. I can tell you everything that I do verbatim and you still sit right in that seat and don't move. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, and I'm like, I'm a beast. Don't nobody move like me. I'm not worried about that. You know what I'm saying? What's for me is what's for me. Right. And what's mine is mine. It don't have your name on it. I don't care if you sit in my seat. None of that. It's still my seat. Mm-hmm. So, if you don't know it, then that's how you're swayed. So that's how people say, have a belief and I have faith and I know my God. Life was happening last couple of days. God says, listen, you're going to get in your feelings or you're going to know me. Mm-hmm. Not believe in me because your belief system can be changed. Right. You know me.
That's different.
So because I know him, I had to, okay, all right.
That's straight.
Wait, what time is the event? When I'm wearing. Okay, you know, but you know, They was out there. The devil was listening. He was waiting. You know, especially for us leaders. They're going to really mess with us even more because they know if they stop you, they stop many. You understand what I'm saying? So because of that, I know he always after me. Like sometimes I be wanting to just put the grease on my face, put my earrings off, and say, "Listen, you know what I'm saying?"
Yeah.
But you know, he says, "Let me see how you act. If you want to act in grace while you dealing with this, you know how you gonna move. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna?" So he's using me right now. You know, and I had to see that because I'm the first one saying, you know, these are lessons for leaders until I got my test. And I was like, what's this? Why me? I thought you know. And he's like, but the test, you were always telling people, what you think I wasn't going to test you? What you think I wasn't going to test you to make sure that you could sit in the position that you sit? You know, so I had to, you know, practice what I preach and remind myself, you know, of that because life don't stop happening and it's not even when you decide to own a business. It doesn't stop happening. So that's everything. Mindset for me is the name of the game. Business, perception, everything. When you get in business, it's not just get the information, start moving. Just like a journey, like you can ready run track, get into a sport, you gotta make sure your mind is right before this journey. You gotta make sure that you're disciplined. When you was working a job, somebody told you what to do, you wore one hat as the employee. They took on the marketing hat. They took on the finance hat. They took them hats. Now as a business owner, you got all those hats. So there's certain things that you got to bring to the table. No one tells you about the capacity components that you're supposed to bring in business. So a lot of the business owners are doubling back because they're like, okay, well, I had the components, I had the money, I had the information, but it's not working because it's internal. I need your mindset to change.
Come on now.
You know, and sometimes we don't understand how much our mindset and how we see things. Perception is everything.
Absolutely.
I was listening to, I don't know if you kind of, and this is just really quickly, have you see how a lot of the stuff is going on with the Color Purple and Taraji and all this kind of stuff. One of the things that came out of her mouth, which gives me an example of her mindset, she says, I haven't got a raise since Proud Mary and blah, blah, blah. Baby, you's a boss. Right. If you're looking for a raise, that sounds like an employee gets raises. Why would you be looking for a raise when you're a boss? But her mind said, I haven't had a raise since Proud Mary because she's thinking like an employee.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? It's perception. That same door right here might say for you, I need privacy, but somebody used to keep me locked in a room. I don't want that door. It's perception. So we got to make sure, you know, how we see things and understand if it aligns with us winning. Because it can contaminate. And you think that you're, you know, in a good place with it, but your perception is all wrong. You know, how you see it. So, and we all have different experiences because I can say go get motivated, but if you've never been motivated, you don't know what that looks like. You know, so we got to have the discipline, be consistent with the right things, because you can eat every 2 hours and be consistent and end up 800 pounds and it didn't serve you. So I don't want to be saying, be consistent, you know what I'm saying? I want you to be consistent with the right things, accountable, be intention, understand that there are sacrifices that come with small business. Time, family, hey, I can't go to that party, hey, I can't go to this, you know, because just like when you had a job, sometimes you couldn't go. So it's the same thing that we have to practice when we own our own. Understand who you want to be in business, because some people, COVID birthed 1.2 million business owners. And in that you had three types of business people. You had the people who were forced into it and had to survive. I don't have no job, I gotta make a way. It's a struggle. Then you had people who were finally had the opportunity to actually work in their gifts. They had a couple dollars in their pocket. And they said, you know what, now I get to start my business. I've been wanting to, I never really wanted to quit my job, but now I can work on my business. Then you had the monkey see, monkey do people. Because everybody said, start a business. And everybody started the business. So you gotta understand where you are. Are you self-employed? Because when you're self-employed, the money stops when you stop. If you're going to be a business owner, because as far as the government is concerned, unless you employ somebody, you're not considered a business owner.
Right.
So you have to understand if it's going to be a hobby, because one of the things is when you understand where you are, it will help with your expectation and disappointment about where you are. Because if you say this is just gonna be extra income, then when you're scrolling on Facebook and you seen Jane Doe and she doing big things, or she looked like she doing big things, taking pictures in the car dealership and she ain't even getting the car, you can be, you can be like, well, that's not my lane, I wasn't going there anyway. Because now things look good. On social media, you can't tell glass from a diamond. So you gotta really pay attention, you know what I'm saying? Because now things can be rented, lifestyles can be rented. So we chasing a dream, a perception, so that's very important. So you gotta understand when you're thinking about it, what's driving your ship. Income, this is a journey. Entrepreneurship is a journey. Income, impact, or legacy. So how many people in here have a business? How many people in here want to start a business? Now, how many people wants to, and when I say, why are you thinking about business, how many people are in business for legacy?
I got that. And
How many are in it for impact? How many for income? So, listen, all right, so we in the car, right? Because this is a journey. Only one person can drive this car. I don't care if we got legacy right here, impact in the back, only one person could drive this car. So based on where you're trying to go, for me, income is why I'm doing. Even if in my ear I got legacy and I got impact in the back steering, because in your life you're gonna have influences that's gonna gauge the direction of your journey. But just like a car, only one of y'all can sit behind that wheel. So unless you're a nonprofit, who's behind the wheel? That's very important what you're doing, because if you say I'm just impact, but then you want to leave legacy or make a difference, if you ain't got no money, what kind of impact you doing? What are you doing? If you can make some money, then you might can do more. An example of legacy, I'm gonna give you an example of legacy for me. I've been in business full time 24 years. I started off with a cleaning service. Now the cleaning service, Greensboro's location runs itself. This location, my 19-year-old runs it. He moved out, got out of my house. He runs this location. Atlanta location runs itself. Now, whether any one of them children wanted to run these businesses, they would have still ran without my children. That's legacy. Because your kids, my oldest son said, them your dreams, they ain't mine. Your kids may not want to do nothing a part of the business. So then where does it go? Who's going to run it? Who's going to make the money and continue the money rolling for legacy? Or is your legacy the story that you used to be in business? So you got to decide what that looks like. And if it's really money and financial being and opportunities for your family, then income has to drive the car. As much as we want to do so much, you can sit your legacy in the front seat with you. But income has to drive the car. So what's right for you? You got Avon, Herbalife. You might hear people say, you're not going to make any money in the first 3 years. That's a myth, and it's based on return on investment, ROI. If you're a big company and you spent $10 million, you may not make any money in the first couple of years. But you might have somebody who spent $99 on an Avon and made $300 by the end of the week. So it all depends on the investment that you're spending. So that not making any money myth in the first couple of years is not for everybody. So don't ever get discouraged by that. Well, I'm not gonna make any money because that's what people said. That's not the case. That's not always the case. You always too got to think about when you're starting a business, what kind of time you want to put it in. Unless you want to start from the ground up, you want to buy a franchise, you want to do something like a Janet King or something where it's already proven that it works. Let me just pay for what to do and jump right out there. But you got to think about what kind of investment you have, what kind of time you have, what kind of help you have. There's a lot of factors that come into play when starting a business before you just jump right out there. Because the thing of it is you got to do your homework. If you are in business right now and you are either fearful, scared, or you're not shouting your business from the rooftops, you need to go back to the drawing board and learn more about your business. Competence is connected to confidence. When you know about your business, your chest pokes out like a peacock. You know what I mean? When you know all the ins and outs and how to sell it, how to push it, its value, its needs, everything about how to relay it to your client, then it's a whole nother animal at that point. So research what you're doing. So we're gonna talk about for-profit versus nonprofit, because we want you in the for-profit space. A lot of people will come into this space and they'll say, well, I wanna help, I wanna be a cause, I wanna do this, but you can still make money in the nonprofit space. I'm a social enterprise. We charge everything. We bring in probably $40,000 a year just in services, but you can't make a profit. The money goes back into programs, back out to the community. You have to pour it right back into the business. There's no profit, but you can still make money in the nonprofit space. You gotta be strategic about the space that you wanna be in and why you wanna be in it. So just the basics from the stuff that you need to start up, your licenses, whether you're gonna do LLCs, incorporations, or something like that. Now, if you're gonna do incorporations, I'm gonna say this, if anybody got any kind of additional things going on, I don't care if it's Social Security, food stamps, Medicaid, any kind of things like that, I do not recommend you doing an LLC. I'm just gonna be honest. If you got assets, if you got anything where your income is an issue, do not do an LLC. One of the things about doing an LLC, it's a benefit in the beginning. It's for small businesses. It offers you something which is called a pass-through tax, so that you can write off everything, which is wonderful. It doesn't give you the same insight when it comes to creditors, because you are the guarantor. It's exactly what it's called, limited liability company. So when you do your taxes, you gotta do your personal taxes and your LLC taxes together on a Schedule C, all together. You have to do it at the same time. Versus if you're a corporation, you can say, hey, to somebody, do my taxes and don't do your personal taxes yet. You're separate. So if you ever need to separate yourself totally from your business, I recommend incorporating the business and not LLC the business. Your LLC in the North Carolina is a $200 a year renewal fee, where your incorporation is $21. So, and creditors who build, when it comes to business credit, will prefer to deal with your corporation versus you. So it's just something to think about. It is taxed twice. It's a different taxation as a corporation. It has, but you can file as an S corp, talk to your tax professional. It's so some different things that can benefit you if you talk to I'm not a tax professional, talk to someone about that side of it. Your EIN, that's like your baby's social security number. We got our social, your business got its social, and it builds off of all the commerce that it eats. If your business needs insurance, depending on what you're doing, you might need general liability, which covers damage to items, workman's comp, which covers slips and falls, and you might have to get bonded, which covers theft. So it all depends on what you're doing. Sales tax, so if you're buying stuff, wholesale, or even if you have employees, I'm gonna say you should have employees. And I'm gonna say this, you are not an employee if you're writing yourself a check, people. If Uncle Sam is not getting FICA, Medicaid, and Medicare out of your money, you're not an employee. At the end of the year, all you're gonna be able to do is write yourself as an expense for your business. So if you wanna consider yourself an employee, you need to have a check that has taxes coming out of it. Through a payroll system, ADP, paychecks, something like that. You need to have a legitimate check that's coming to you from your business. The structure, all your businesses should have an operating agreement. That states how your business is set up, how it flows, who's in charge, the structure of your business, and all your documents. Please have documents. Every business should have 3 types of documents. You should have in-house documents that govern the rules of the business itself. Then you should have documents that are the rules between staff and the business. Then you should have documents that govern the rules between clients and the business. You should have, which is all called standard operating procedures. You should have documentation so that if you ever step back, somebody can jump in, sit in that seat, and run your business. If that is not the game plan, then you're not looking for business ownership. Because that means that when you stop, everything shuts down. Everything shuts down. So at any point, if you say, I'm going to hire or I want to hire, today, start writing down the things that you do. If you say, I go in the office and I call and I do this, even with the cleaning business, I say, look, if I went in the house, if I look up, left, and right, I wrote that down because I need Judy to look up, left, and right. You know what I mean? So you have to make sure that you take those notes, because in business, it's about delivering consistent service. So if they don't know how to do it, if you're not showing them, and then you can't get mad because they're not supposed to show up and just do stuff. They're supposed to do it the way your standard wants it to be done. Policies, pricing structures, we have to make sure that we have all of these things. They have different kind of LLCs. It's not just a regular LLC. If you have a partner, you might have to get an LLP. If you are a nurse or in the medical profession, you have to even go to that side of it first to get a professional LLP. So everything is different. You have to really be strategic about filing these things with the Secretary of State, and they all have a yearly renewal. I'm going to tell people, if you have additional ventures, so say for instance you have an LLC right now. How many people have an LLC but want to open up different businesses? Right, my creator. How many people, I'm going to ask you this, how many people will consider yourself a creator? How many people in here would consider yourself the person who's the executor? Like that gets out there, boots on the ground, but not necessarily the creator. Listen, let me tell you this, because I have half of my business owners are really good at visionary, they're really good at creating, but the execution, getting out there, taking it, you know, sometimes that's the weakest part. And sometimes you have to partner up with someone who is great at execution. Because the business has to have the visionary and the execution person. So if that's not your strong suit, you gotta know it, own it, and snatch somebody up. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, the business still gotta go. You know? So we gotta make sure that we know what we got, what we don't got. And if you're somebody who got different ventures and stuff in your mind, and you're a creator like me, like don't be like me. I got 13 LLCs, 6 incorporations. Don't be like me. Get some DBAs. Doing business as. Put them all under the one company. But when you do the DBAs, you want to only do DBAs that have a little bit of risk. If it has a lot of risk where something can go wrong, it needs to have its own LLC or corporation. Excuse me, because if not, it can take the whole house down. So you want to be careful when you're doing DBAs. But that's the best way to start something without having to open up several businesses and pay for several LLCs and stuff. So let's talk about nonprofit. Now, did anybody have any questions about that? Because I'm trying to move based on my time. But did anybody have any questions about what I just went over?
Great job.
Yeah,
It's
but
good
we're doing
stuff.
good. We don't got
You're
time
doing
for
real
that.
well.
Okay.
We want
Good
more,
stuff,
give
it's
us
good
more.
stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so quickly, I'm gonna talk about the nonprofit, the 501c3. Now, this is the kicker that a lot of people don't understand. Nonprofit, you are a founder. You are never an owner.
No.
Nonprofits have no owners. You will never own a nonprofit. The money that's in your nonprofit is not yours. So that's why I always tell people to have a for-profit or nonprofit. You can go to jail for spending nonprofit money. You have to be able to calculate it to the T at tax time, everything, because this is supposed to be a benefit that you started a cause. You want a business and you want to spend, and you should open up a business, because they don't consider this a regular business. You know what I'm saying? That you are out here just moving. It's like a privilege to have a nonprofit. So you can never be an owner. You will always just be a founder. Your nonprofit can own stuff. Your nonprofit, as a nonprofit, you can do lots of stuff. You can start trusts, you can do properties. As a nonprofit, you can even open what is called a Medicaid pool trust, where you can say to people, you know what, I'll start things in the bank for you, and you can keep your food stamps and Medicaid, and we can open up accounts that you can put your money in up to $100,000, and you can keep all of your social services and your assistance. Only a nonprofit can start a Medicaid pool trust and help the community keep their money and keep their home. Because you can have $100,000 in the bank and still receive food stamp, Medicaid, low income, everything, if you partner with a nonprofit who has a Medicaid pool trust. There's a lot of things that nonprofits can do. So you want to make sure that you partner with nonprofits. The top 5 documents that they always should have is their articles of incorporation. And all of this you get from the Secretary of State. Anybody can start a nonprofit with the Secretary of State for $60. That's how much the documentation costs to get finished. $60. Your corporate bylaws, your organizational minutes. Those is you meeting with your board. You have to have scheduled meetings with your board and keep notes. That is the law in this space. One of the things that some of the nonprofits miss is you have to have a charitable solicitation license.
Oh, yes.
And a lot of them are out here operating and not applying for that. That's applied for through the Secretary of State, and it's another $200. And then your 501c3. Now you can do your 501c3, the easy application is $275. And that's what makes you an exempt, tax exempt nonprofit. Tax exempt. The long application is $600. And that's done with the IRS. So if you did it yourself, the cheapest you will spend is what, about $350, $360 to become a nonprofit. If you add the solicitation license on it, it'd be maybe $500 and some change. If you go to a lawyer, they're gonna run you about $1,500.
Absolutely.
So, which one should you apply for? And always wait and do your EIN after in case the name is not available. Because sometimes in the search, even though you put the search in with the Secretary of State and put your name in to see if the name that you want might go through, until the processor actually put their hands on the document, you won't know. Because they're gonna check to see if it's in the trademark space. And it doesn't let you know that it's in the trademark space in the initial search. So I have gotten people who have gotten denied when the processor got it, and I had to give them another name. Because when they checked, it was too close to somebody in the trademark space. So you gotta be careful of that. So I tell people, if you're still not sure, create a business plan. I'm all about business plans. The crazy thing is, back in the day, they used to tell you, business plan was just in case you need an investor or when you wanted to get investment money. But I want investment money. So of course I want a business plan. You know what I'm saying? I want money. And you gotta think about it. I don't care if you're pulling up for any grants, whatever. If you asking somebody for $200,000, $100,000, $50,000, wouldn't they not want a clear plan on how you plan to spend the money or give the money back? Or what you're gonna do with it? It would make sense that somebody would want a business plan from you. So one piece of it is just the plan itself. And one thing I like about a business plan, it makes you create milestones. It makes you look at your competitors. You know how many entrepreneurs say to me, I'm the only one doing how I'm doing it. No, you're not, baby. And I start doing the little work. It's 3 over here, 6 over here. You might add your secret sauce, but it's the industry. You know what I mean? And when you do the business plan, they ask you, who's your competitor? What's your strengths? What's your weaknesses? Because they need you to know, as a business person, what's going on around you. Even down to your milestones. So when we're riding down the road, because some of us are riding down the road, know we're going the wrong way, pick up people, complain that we're going the wrong way, and won't turn around. The business plan will let you know, hey, we were supposed to turn 3 blocks back that way. But if you don't have a plan of action, you're just riding, waiting for the day to come, I'm going to hit the lottery. And you were supposed to have been off this highway. Because the business plan said so. Because that means what you were doing and what's happening is not meshing. So we got to redirect. So that's why we have to have this business plan. So things to consider: who you serve, what you serve, why you, and I'm always going to make you go back to the why you. I heard the why you in the room. That's essential. Because even when it comes to selling, you got to have the why you factor. Why you versus somebody else. Why would I buy from you versus John versus Karen? Why you? How are you going to execute? And then where is your competition? Everybody is not your competition. Social media has made your competition right there in your hands. So use it. My small business center, we have serviced 3,000 in this county. Everybody came off of social media. You're in the palm of somebody's hand all day long. And it's even separated the people for you. So you got your health conscious, you got your business people, you got your moms. So if you're ever looking for your dynamic of your people, social media has grouped them and made it very easy. Facebook is a feelings-based platform. Instagram is a visual-based platform. Facebook is all feelings. If she tired, she pissed, she sleepy, she gonna put it on Facebook. So you just need to be there. Do you sell beds? Do you sell sleep? What do you sell? You know what I'm saying? I mean, as the business owner, we We don't have any room for feelings. The only person who should have feelings is the consumer, because based on how they feel is how they spend. So all we gotta do is just look and see, and then just pull out our stuff, you know? So you gotta pay attention to that. Pay attention to your competition. Check in on them, especially if they're big. They got the money for trial and error, to test marketing, all that stuff. Don't go and try to do it the hard way. It makes no sense to do that. You'll have a time for branding, because you'll have time, well, okay, let's do branding. Let's look at our websites, our colors, our logos, our online presence, because once you solidify who you are as a business, then you go to branding. You don't go to branding first. We want you to know what you sell. We want you to know, because then you'll know, let's promote what our business cards look like. What is our motto? What do we stand for? What is our mission? You know, branding comes after you've set the business up. After you've established who you are, what you serve, what you're about, you know, who you are as a business, then it'll help you better with branding. So you want to make sure that you have a standard, that you have something that is you, that represents your business. I don't care if you're open 24/7, if you have an eye for detail, whatever that looks like, and use the resources that are out there. They have free websites, domains, all kind of things. You got to use the stuff that's out there, but at the same time, if it's not your strong suit, be okay with giving it to somebody. Don't say, well, I'm going to just figure it out because I don't want to spend the money. Because now your image is suffering because of that. And it's too important. It's too important. Copywriting, trademark, and patent, super important to come into protecting your stuff. Now, this is the thing about copywriting. You copyright your books, songs, your recipes. You trademark your symbols, your names, and your logos. And you patent your inventions. So you might have one thing that'll get all three. Say you bought a vacuum cleaner and it got a logo that's trademarked, and the instructions are copyrighted, and the whole vacuum was patented. So the one thing might have all three. Now this is the thing about it. This process with the United States Patent and Trademark Office takes 2 years. I just did 4. I've been waiting on 2 since last year. Now this is the crazy part. When you do trademarking with the United States Patent and Trademark Office, the easy form is $275 per class. Per class meaning whatever lane that you're going to be in. Bigger companies come into this space and say, you know what, I'm coming in with 10K and I'm going to put my name on everything. So if you don't put your name on everything, then you can lose out. That's how, for instance, Dove Chocolate and Dove Soap is out here to be able to play the game, because they're in different lanes. One's a soap, one's a chocolate. You only lock down a class. There's 45 classes in the trademark space. So if you say, you know what, I do pocketbooks and it's in class 2, but you know leather bags, or you want to do a service too and it's in class 35 or 40, you got to pay $275 here, $275 there. You have to pay for every lane of the class you want to lock down. So I tell people, always lock down the most important and the one that's making you the money first. And then over the years, grow into more, lock down different classes. Because it's one, I mean, it depends on the money you got. If you got money to lock them all down, lock them all down. But they're $275 each class, each lane that you want to lock down. So if all your stuff falls under one class, wonderful. And if you're in just a service business, then you'd be good. But if you know you have merchandise, this can get a little pricey. One of the things I will recommend is to locking it down on the state level. North Carolina does trademarking for $75. And you can get them back in about 3 weeks. I recommend everyone to do it. That is a way that you can even learn the process. And then if you get it right, you can do it yourself on the federal side. And not have to seek a lawyer. A lawyer is going to run you about $1,500 to $2,000. They're expensive. But they prefer you to try it on the state side first. You know, and if you can get it on the state side, it's just $75. And I always tell people, lock down the name. If you know that you're going to want to change your logos and stuff like that, only lock down the name, not the logo. Because you can't spruce your logo up later. You can't change the color. It locks it in the way it is. And it has to stay that way. So if nothing else, lock the name in. And you can always change what you put over top of the name. versus locking the low unless you know that you're solid with it and you never want to change it. But it's good for 10 years before you'll have to do an affidavit to do it again. Not pay any money, but you'll still have to send them something, specimens, to say that you're still using the mark. But don't rush again. I'm one of those people that believes that you should have the business pay for it. The business should pay for all of these things that you're doing. So, pricing for profits, 3 times the markup, always price for profits. If you spend $5 on something, you should be charging $15 for it. You should be getting your $5 that you spent back, $5 to purchase another one, and there go your $5 profit. This is not purchasing for $5, selling for $8. We can't never make no money to grow. That's why we'll be always spending money out of our pocket if we don't price it right. Even in the service business, if you don't price it properly, then when it comes time for you to hire, you're trying to raise your prices up with your clients. You have to price for positioning. So put them prices out there. And people don't value free or cheap. Please understand that. Hours of operation. I'm big on business owners having hours of operation, money-making hours, and back-end business hours. You got hours that you are chasing coin, clients, social media, pushing, promoting, whatever you do, and then you have hours that you might be doing research, maybe some automation on your website, because I'm big on automation. I've automated my whole site. You buy something, it's gonna take you on a journey for about 6 months. Because I started off as one-man show, you know what I'm saying? So I had the websites are set up to do a lot of the work if you just take the time and look at the back end of it, you know what I mean? So when they call it click funnels, that's what a click funnel is. It's gonna just keep on, serving your client. So I am an automation queen, because I can't be everywhere, but I still want, because you gotta think of the journey. What journey do you want to take your clients on? Your journey, the client's journey don't stop at your capacity because you say, okay, I don't know anymore after this. They'll go somewhere else. So either you're going to become a resource or you're going to take them further. But you got to understand the journey you want to take the clients on. The back end hours, I'm learning. I'm jumping down the rabbit hole for information. Reading the books that people don't want to read, looking at my competitors, you know what I mean? Because I want to know. I have to have this information. I like to know what I'm talking about, so I'm big on taking time to learn stuff. All the IRS website, they have courses, classes, the same thing with the 501c3, they teach you how to do it. I've taken it on their website about 19 times. I'm all through that. I've been through the IRS website probably 200 times. They give us the information. Once Google University started, I attended, honey. YouTube University, I attended. The information is there. There's no reason for us not to know. That's why I have deemed myself Miss Figure It Out on TikTok, because I will figure it out. If the information is there. So we have to make sure that we are positioning ourselves for next step. So like for me, because at times I could be fully staffed and at times I could be a one-man show, I have something called the 90-30 rule. I do 90 days, I go stupid hard for the business. As an employee, I sign in, sign out. I know what I'm supposed to be doing because the assignments are already there for me to do. That 30 days, I'm setting the stage. I'm doing all my scheduling for my marketing. I'm doing all my scheduling for the employee, which is me, so that I can show up like your boss tell you what to do. My boss in them 30 days laid the groundwork for me to do. So in the 90 days, I just do. I show up to all the stuff that's already scheduled. I'm not figuring it out and trying to create in them 30 days. I did it in them 90 days. I did it in the 30 days. So because if not, you're running, you stopping, running, stopping. You get a whole swift of good business, you're working it, then you got to play catch up to get more business. It's supposed to be continuous. So if you don't have a system, it won't. You always playing catch up in business. You got to have money goals. You can't just be in business without no money goal. My goal is $10,000 a month. Then I got to think about, what do I sell? What can I sell to make that? If it's a busy month for me and I don't have time to be pushing, I'm only selling big ticket items, courses, things that are 2K, 5K, that can get me that. If I got all month, then I'll sell everything I do. But if I'm busy, we always got to go to big ticket stuff because we still got to get to the 10K. How many I need to sell, how many I need to push every week because I have a goal. I have to be intentional about making my money. How many do I need to sell weekly? So, let's play the game. Do y'all got faith in me?
Yes.
Okay, because we're going to wind this down. It's like 6 of these things. So I did this because I know I talk a lot. So I said 90 seconds, I get to give you these nuggets. There's 6 nuggets. So I said, I know they got faith in me, so I'm going to give you these nuggets in 90 seconds. All right. Okay, we're going to start this clock. All right, so one of these nuggets, this is BOI. It stands for Business Ownership Registration. I need you to take this domain. I mean, it's www.fincen.gov/BOI. If you are a business owner, you have an LLC or corporation, every business in this room has to register. It's the law. They did something called the Corporate Transparency Act. They want all businesses to add identification to their business because people are scamming, these shell companies, all that stuff. So the United States Treasury Department partnered with a company called Financial Crimes Network. And if you filling out any LLCs, it's on EIN, this is popping up telling people that they have to register. New companies that started January 1 got 90 days. If you were here before January 1, you got to the end of this year. Their penalties are $500 a day, $10,000 fine, or 2 years in prison. Right now, that's being disputed because somebody big said that was just too harsh. But they did it to scare people into getting this done. So that's where we are right now. But every business has to do it if you have an LLC or INC. No ifs, ands, or buts. You have to register your business. So you go on, make sure you have your driver's license or possible passport. It's going to give you a FinCEN ID number. It's going to ask you for your business's EIN. That's it. An address and your business's name. And that's how you attach.
Okay.
All right. Next. All right. So next one. Come on. All right. Next codes. So this one will be quick because this stands for North American Industry Classification System. Everybody should go to this website and make sure that you have your NAICS codes. These are your industry codes. If you're ever looking for funding, if you're ever looking for grants, if you're ever looking for money, they give money based on industry codes. When they're looking up to give money to businesses, they look it up based on the industry codes. Everything is done by industry codes. So you could be in a wrong industry code and really be missing money for your business when it comes to grants and funding as far as the government is concerned. And you can have several that are connected to your business. Because one thing else I'm going to show you on here is the SAM registration. And they let you put a couple of industry codes in. But you got to have industry codes. That's important for what you do. If you ever partner with the city, they'll ask you to put industry codes. You can put as many as you want because then when they start looking, like with my cleaning business, they call us to clean airplanes. They call us to clean the side of the road. They call us for different things because I put like 20 different industry codes in there. So depending on what you want to do, they don't care what it is. I don't care if you're coaching, baking, seamstress, whatever, partner with your city and state and make sure that you got all the industry codes that you're willing to do. Because that's where the money is at. It's connected to your industry codes. Have at least 3.
Yeah.
All right. And all right. Nonprofits. For my nonprofits, I need nonprofits to connect with people, for-profits and nonprofits. I need everybody to have what is called an MOU. It stands for Missions of Understanding. Funders do not want to fund your one-man show. They want to fund collaboration. If the job was, I want to write this check and I want to hit veterans, I want to hit women, I want to hit this, I want to, whatever's on their territory that they want to hit and help, they want to do it with one check. They don't want to have to help several different organizations to fulfill their requirement. So you need to have collaboration. The thing about grants is you have 2 different types of grants. You'll have a grant that'll say, I got $25,000, tell me your mission and what you want to do with my $25,000. Then you'll have somebody who'll say, I got $25,000, it's for people with children, people who do with women, people who do with veterans. They're going to give you specifics. And you may not be the specifics. So you might need to pull this veteran organization. You might need to pull this girl over here with the Children's Center. You might need to pull, and that's where your MOUs come from. Because you got to bring people in to get the grant money. You have one component, but you don't have the different components that they might need an art component. They want you to have some kind of art, or maybe it's the arts council doing something, and they say, okay, I want art entrepreneurship, but I want some kind of art component in it, and the youth and this. I don't deal with the youth, I deal with the grown folk. So now I got to pull in somebody who deal with the youth. So I got their MOU, it's a letter of understanding saying this is what my responsibility is, this is what, you know, I ain't even started my clock, but okay. I'm gonna go past that one. All right, this is the second one. Let me start my clock. All right, so this is the second one. This is where your next codes are very important. A lot of my business owners, all of you guys need to register with Sam. This is Uncle Sam. When you got your LLCs and incorporation, it didn't ask you for any credentials. If you ever try to get any funding with grants.gov and the government, you need a SAM registration. If you ever try to get woman-owned certification, minority-owned certification, veteran-owned certification, small business enterprise with the SBA, any certifications with the SBA, their number one requirement is that you have an active SAM.gov registration. Because that is to solidify who you are. Because the paperwork never asked you for any credentials when you got those LLCs. So Uncle Sam wants you to register with him to get any kind of government money. He got to make sure that they know what's coming through the timeline. So your DUNS numbers connected in here with them, everything. This could be cumbersome and a little bit, it's very tedious. It's a lot. Especially if you're going for the one that's all awards and you want to bid with the government. I sit there at the computer for about an hour. It's a lot. But it's worth it. You only do it once a year. You renew every single year. It's absolutely free for you to do. If you go to a service, they're going to charge you because it's cumbersome. But if you do it yourself, it's actually free for you to do. And I think I got one more. Now, this is a nugget that I know you guys should have seen or didn't see, but I think I just wanted to share it. Getting your taxes done for free. Now, I don't want to take no food out of nobody's mouth up in here if you're a tax person, but I thought it was amazing. So, if we're going to be a VITA site, the government wants you to do your taxes because they want to keep up with your money, right? So, what they offer is self-employed, not your business owner, but self-employed. This is if you're doing Uber, DoorDash, stuff like that, or you got a W-2. You can get your taxes done for absolutely free. If you make under $79,000 a year, at any VITA site, because it's called VITA, you can go on Community Link and look up their locations, but the government has paid for training. So even if you have a site and you say, you know what, I want to help people and do taxes or whatever, the government will pay for your certification. They will give you the software, all of that, because they want you to do taxes for people because they want to keep up. People are not getting their taxes done like they want them to. So they're furnishing these sites all over the city so that you can get your taxes done. It used to be just at the library. So you can get your taxes done absolutely free. So I think that's a really good nugget because some people are really hitting you in the head. You're spending a lot of money to get your taxes done. And I think that's a really good way to get your taxes done if you 1099s or W-2s without having to spend an arm and a leg because it's absolutely free. Absolutely. And this is again another nugget, real quick. I think this is my last one for nonprofits. So if you are a nonprofit, these are the 4 places I need you to connect that's super crazy, super beneficial. Tool Bank is the main one. Tool Bank, they have them all over. They have one in the city. They let you rent everything for your events or whatever for next to nothing. I don't care. I got probably 50 tables and chairs for an event, bullhorn, games, coolers, and I think I spent like $60 for the whole weekly rental for everything. Like the chairs are like 25 cents. I have a guy who does, he helps the kids with building things and cutting grass in the summer. We do a program, so we go there, we get the lawnmowers for $25 for the whole week, and the boys cut grass to make money for school clothes in the summer. You know, they have, I mean, it's just a whole, just a warehouse of everything, and you get it for pennies on the dollar for a weekly rental as a nonprofit. Everything that you would need for any event, dividers, bullhorns, tables, you know, generators, it doesn't matter. I mean, the generator might run you $25, $30 for a weekly rental. It's crazy cheap. So Tool Bank is a great connect to have for your events. Even as a way to make money if you have a nonprofit, because my members, I allow them to use my Tool Bank. and we make a stipend off of just the registration for it. So they pay a small little fee to get access to it, so we make money that way. Restore Global is another fire partner to have. They partner with nonprofits. They will give, like I did a coat drive, all brand new coats from Children's Place. I spent $1 on those coats. So they are good. They have everything that you would possibly need. Tech Soup, I'm sure some of you already heard of them. We just got some door cams, the door ring central cams. It was 6 of them for $65 in Tech Soup. It's like, you get so much stuff, your software, everything. And Green Standards, they're another one, because you get office furniture, everything, and it's free. They just bring it to you. So, really good tools for small business. And that's for a nonprofit though. You have to be a nonprofit for that. And last but not least is NAV. So NAV to me is if you want to learn anything about business credit, anything, everybody should have a NAV account. NAV is all things business credit. They're going to tell you about your net 30s. When you open up an account with them, they already know your personal credit, where it stands, and where your businesses stand. They are fire. They are fire when it comes to building business credit. It's like Equifax and TransUnion for the business. Like we got our stuff, the business has their stuff, and that's NAV. NAV is just truly fire. So when it comes to you wanting to educate yourself about business, I'm definitely going to recommend going to NAV. And last but not least, my book's on sale.
All right.
And let me say this. So the Successful Entrepreneur, and I'm going to tell you my nuggets. I don't care. I share everything. This book was created when AI came out. Playing around with AI, I wrote this book in 3 hours. I've sold close to 400 of these books. It has nothing to do with me. It's all tools. Because now, to me, success comes in your movement, your mindset, all the small things. So I took everything that I thought that needed to happen, and I used it in addition to dig deeper. You gotta use AI to make money, you guys. Do not sleep on it. If you are looking for an assistant, you got one for $49 a year through AI. If you are not using AI to make money, you are truly missing it. It just says, here, you can turn your brain off just for a little while, because it is amazing. The information that you can get off of there that helps, especially if you know what to feed it. Because you got to know what to feed it. It's not ever going to just give you anything. You got to know what to strategically feed it. And it generates information. So I'm on my 5th book, but not with AI, but some of the teachings that I do, I generated because I might have said, okay, I got 10 questions to ask, but it brought another 20 to the table that just blew my mind. You know what I mean? So it'll open, because you want 360 thinking. That's where the money comes in at. The money's not going to ever come in just regular business. It's going to come how you pivot in business and how you see business. So that's my spiel. Thank you for having me. And I'm on Facebook. Please follow me, Jersey Shay on Facebook. Jersey Shay on Facebook, and that's Shey. And I want to thank AWS again for having us in this space. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That was a wealth of knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to get you? Thank you.
Oh yeah, and I have walk-in Wednesdays. I give a free information, so you can come and see me any Wednesday for absolutely free. I sit down with you, assist you with your business, start up everything. We're open from 10 to 8 o'clock. And my cards should be on your tables too.
Awesome. Okay, great. All right, ladies. Manja, time to eat.